Just speak honestly. Just
Okay.
be honest. Just name it for what it is. Like, this is my experience with you. This is what I'm feeling when we do it. Welcome to the Get Your Marriage On podcast. I'm your host, Dan Purcell, a sex and intimacy coach for married couples. My mission is to help you build and maintain a sexually vibrant and emotionally intimate marriage. Join me each week as we explore principles and practical tools based on Christian values to create the passionate, joyful, and thriving marriage you're designed to have. Welcome back to the Get Your Marriage On podcast. We are starting part 2 of this conversation with Charlene Byers. If you missed part 1, you'll want to go back and listen to that. It gives a lot of background so that you know what we're talking about as we start part 2 of this podcast, where we get to talk about all the juicy things that lead to turn on for men and women in the bedroom. Ready? All right, let's get started.
Let's say a woman's thinking this to herself right now, and she's
Mhm.
like, "You know what? I love my husband. For the most part, we have, I do want things differently, but
Mhm.
something sparked me, Dan, when I heard you say,
Uh-huh.
that maybe my husband has this desire always to want me to always have an orgasm, and I'm feeling the pressure.
Yeah.
Is there something that listener tonight, after listening to this podcast, can start that conversation, or what would you recommend?"
Just speak honestly. Just
Okay.
be honest. Just name it for what it is. Like, this is my experience with you. This is what I'm feeling when we do it. I don't know if you realize you're doing this, but this is what I track in you. This is what I sense.
Wow,
So,
okay.
more honesty. Honesty is the key to intimacy.
Okay.
Truth is
Talk
the key
about
to
that,
intimacy.
Dan. Okay,
Honesty, yes.
what is
Yes.
intimacy then?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
If you want a great sex life, you learn how to be more honest.
Okay,
It underpins everything. But that's hard. Now, there's honesty as in, like, not lying, and we're not,
okay,
like, blatantly lying, right?
right.
But it is so scary to speak honestly about your experience to your spouse in front of them, especially when you know they're not gonna like what you're gonna say, because it doesn't feel good.
It doesn't feel good.
And then we use words like hurt, like, "I don't wanna hurt him. I don't wanna hurt her." And I get it, because you want them to like you back. If you say something a little truthful, if it's hurtful, there's a chance that they're not gonna receive it well, right? And they know how to punish you, whether by withdrawing or, like, placating or, becoming a bully. I don't know, however your spouse does it, right? They know how to do that. They know your weaknesses, and they know
They
how
know
to
the weakness yet.
exactly know your limitations. They know how to take advantage of it, and so it's easier to kinda not name it and kind of go along to keep the peace. There's a story in the Bible of Jesus casting out the money changers that I love. And this is the one aspect of it that I love.
Okay,
People in general didn't like the money changers in the temple either, but the religious leaders and the establishment weren't willing to do something about it,
correct.
right? There's dung in the sanctuary of the temple. You probably don't want that there. They're probably profiting off of the money changing going on too and whatever. But I'm going to use the word collusion. That means, like, I won't tell you what's wrong with you if you won't tell me what's wrong with me. There's a sense of collusion going on.
Okay, okay.
But Jesus is like, all right, this can't happen anymore. This isn't right. Let's stand for truth, even if it's unpopular. And it takes a huge amount of courage to do something that someone else who should have been doing it. They weren't willing to do it. The religious leaders at the time weren't willing to do it, but Jesus was willing to step in and do it. Now, he wasn't mean about it. Like, he wasn't like killing the animals in the process, right? He wasn't like chasing the money changers down the street, threatening their lives. You did make a scene of it to establish truth. That's an element of the courage that people need to step into it. I have another story that's probably a little
Hey,
closer to home.
yeah, that's
A
good.
few
Yeah.
years ago, I come home from work. In our marriage, my wife does most of the meal prep, and it's vegetables. That's what's for dinner, just vegetables. I'm like, okay, great. The next day, more vegetables, and that's it. And the next day, vegetables, and there's no more cow milk. It's like almond milk or coconut milk.
Dennis,
And
this is real sorry. Dennis, this is real
right?
sorry.
Where's
Yeah,
the beef?
yeah. They're like, Dan, did your lady just give you vegetables 3 days in a row?
Right.
I'm telling you right now, right when you said that, Mark would have looked at my husband and been like,
Right? Like, all the meals that we usually like, it's
and
not
then
there.
I'm a mother and I have like 4 boys. They would have been like, Mom. Okay, so I love
Right.
it, Dad. This is
Or
so
it's just
cute.
rice and beans. Like,
Yes.
what about?
Yeah, no, but my boys would have been like, Mama, what's wrong?
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay,
Well,
so 4th day or 3rd day, Dan's like,
right. Like, hey, I don't like this.
yeah.
But if you look at my wife, from her perspective, she's been studying on her own more about nutrition. She thinks about food all the time.
Okay.
She talks to others. She's learned about like plant-based diets and like, because it's kind of a trend right now, and like eating more vegetarian or vegan or whatever. Right?
Yeah, so she's looking at it in a completely different way. Yeah.
Right. She's very interested, and she's, for lack of another word, she's like convicted, or she's converted to the idea of this is a better way for our family to eat.
We're gonna eat healthy now, Dan. This is it.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
And it was an act of integrity on her part to prepare those meals. Because knowing what she knew and felt deep inside of what was right, and still prepare what we would call the standard American diet, junky food, unhealthy food, like how we were eating,
Yes.
that would go against her integrity.
Got it.
So it was more important for her to hold on to her integrity of what was right for her in that moment, at the risk of upsetting others, because integrity matters a lot. So back to the sexual conversation, you and your spouse, like you had that elephant in the room, something just hasn't been going on. It's hard. When you can get enough clarity on your own, like my wife did with the vegetables, right? Like, this is actually really important to me. I can't keep living the way we're living now and still be happy with myself. Something has to change. I can't do it and still be integrated as a person. Integrity, right? That's the honesty we're talking about. It's like, we need to change the way we have sex. When you initiate 11 p.m. on a Friday night when I'm really tired, of course, I say no, but you ask at a time that I'm really tired and I feel guilty because I keep telling you no. So I want to tell you yes. Then the sex is crappy. But it also makes me wonder why you're asking me at such a time. And I can only think that it's probably because you're more interested in proving that you're justified in your position of being the martyr here, being the one always turned down and feeling rejected, rather than really wanting to be with me. Ooh, that's hard to hear.
Yes.
But it's true.
But it's true.
Right? At least there's maybe a little bit of denial at first. On day 2, day 3, Brian was like, you know what? I think I do care a lot more about being right or feeling justified in my rejection than really being intimate. Because real intimacy would be like not at an inconvenient time on purpose, over, like, if that was the pattern in the marriage. I gave that as an example.
That's good.
But that's what I mean by integrity. You bring your integrity to the table. This is important.
That's really important now when you say it that way, because your truth and what you're experiencing is your truth.
Yeah.
And goodness gracious. And one thing I talk about wholeheartedly in a relationship, and I know we're talking about, sex and intimacy, but I feel this wholeheartedly. I mean, this is a big one for me, is microscopic honesty with your partner. Microscopic. The layer down.
Yes.
I feel this way because it makes me feel that you actually don't desire me.
Right.
When you're rushing and you're asking me that way, I don't feel desired. I feel like I'm just another.
I feel like you want sex, but I don't know if you really want sex with me.
Ooh, damn.
There's a difference.
Ooh. Okay, Ladies, wow. And the reason why we're having these conversations, I love how Dan's talking about, he's not saying, of course, it's just easy. You know what I mean? Like, okay, hey babe, you know what? This is the deal, buddy. No. This is intimacy. This
This
is
is
it. This
intimacy. This
is
is
it.
getting really close to someone.
This
Yeah.
is really
Uh-huh.
good. Oh,
This is
Dad.
taking off the mask. It's like, I'm wanting you to know me and I want to know you. This is scary
Oh,
stuff.
and then we talk about that. We
Mhm.
talk about intimacy.
When we say
And
intimacy, we want like the feel good intimacy, but this is like the feel bad intimacy, but it's still intimacy.
but it but the feel bad intimacy is what's gonna lead to the really, 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 really good intimacy,
Yes,
Dan.
amen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We gotta go through it, Dan.
Yes.
Ooh, you guys, come on, come on, come on. Because it does. It takes
Yeah.
courage. But you know what? When you are married to your best friend lover,
Uh-huh.
seriously, I want everyone to hear this. This is where we actually need to go.
Yeah. You
We
can't get this
actually
from a one night stand.
you can't. And this is why we're married. This is why
Yes.
we are with this person. This is why God created this. Ooh,
Yes. Yes.
is for true intimacy, vulnerability, because it takes vulnerability. It takes courage. It's almost like having those conversations with your spouse. It's for me as a woman, it's like just feeling so exposed, just standing there naked. It's like, okay, this is really me. I really want, but Dan, talk about the difference, seriously, from when you were married
Mhm.
and you guys, like Dan had a nice marriage. He loves his wife. He loved them. There was nothing. They were just chugging along. They had sex. They were just chugging along. Everything
Uh-huh.
was good. But can we speak into why this is crucial? This is that turning point right there. Getting down to the layers here,
Uh-huh.
getting vulnerable. What shifts and what ended up happening with you and your wife?
So great. That's a great, very personal question. Thank you very much, Charlene.
Yes, yes.
I think we're just starting to scratch the surface of now we can see really what's possible for us as guys.
Oh,
We're not there yet because we've got years ahead of us to keep going in this direction, right? And that's what I
yes.
love about sex. I think we will be 60, 70, 80 years old and still like be discovering new depths, new things in our sexual relationship. It's so profound. But here's the difference.
Okay.
Now I can really make love, not just have sex. Because when I hold my wife in my arms and our bodies are tucked into each other's and we're eye to eye, I know who I am with. And I love and appreciate and cherish the person I'm with. And I would like to think she feels the same towards me. She knows who I am. I am who I am. Warts and all, like mistakes, disappointments, but also all of my redeeming virtues too. But it's this shared humanity. I accept her full humanity as she is as a human and me. And there's just this, I can't put it in words, but the other night we're falling asleep and we're in each other's arms. And it's like there's heaven. This is heaven on earth. And I didn't want this moment to end. It's just so there's something just really special about my wife and that we want to be with each other. Like we desire each other. And I think there's a lot of beauty to that. I,
No, Dan, that's
I'm
beautiful.
mumbling. I don't know. I'm
No, 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 I
rambling
know.
now.
No,
Words aren't adequate, but yeah,
no, I actually really understand what you're saying
good.
because I asked you something. That is the real difference between when we're just talking about intimacy, microscopic honesty, when we're able to, that scary thing, you guys, this is what we're talking about. That scary thing that we feel scary is having that conversation with our spouse. But as Dan said, you got to do it. It's just inevitable if you really want to have this level of intimacy. The other person, sometimes, they might get their little feelings hurt, but guess what? It's okay. It's okay. You're not trying to be mean. You're being honest. Okay, you're being honest. And I do believe you guys, of course, like anything else. If you're gonna say something, you can say it, in a way that's kind.
Yeah, kindness, always kindness. Yeah.
Always kindness. Always seriously, we have to lead with kindness, as just as we want our spouses to lead with kindness. So you can say anything with kindness, okay? But it still can feel a little uncomfortable for the other person, but that's for them to work through. Seriously, that's for them to work through. As long as you're coming in kind and honest,
Mhm.
okay? Whatever the reaction of the other person is, that's not on you, that's them, okay? But when I asked Dan this question, look at how Dan got giddy. He like losing his words. I'm like, buddy, this is awesome. This is exactly what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly, Dan, you did it perfect. I'm telling you. You're like, Charlene, because that's the truth. That's what we're talking about. It became something, and it's still becoming
Mhm.
different with his wife. And I really believe ultimately that is icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
oh, oh, that is so something's coming up. Let me ask you this, Dan. Okay. Hold on. I got questions for you here. Okay. For couples who feel disconnected or roommate-ish,
Uh-huh.
what's the very first step you believe can start rebuilding emotional and physical intimacy? So if they are listening right now and they're feeling more roommate,
Mhm.
what is the first step?
Yeah, we've talked about this. This is the whole episode, right? It is all of this. Different from what I've already said, then I would say, which is like naming it, like, hey, I don't like this. We need to change this. A lot of times we want our spouse to make the first move. Like, oh, we're roommates. If only he would, buy me flowers more often or take me out on dates and like we used to. And uh, what about taking me dancing? Oh, I don't know, whatever. Like,
Okay,
only if he
that's
would,
good.
right? It's
Yep.
so easy. And you know what? Everything you're saying is 100% true because you see your spouse's limitations. And those limitations, they're real, but we want them to make the first step. That's the hard thing. Like, right? We
We're
want to
thinking
be
about
really
all the
intimacy.
things,
I want, right.
but you better do it.
Yeah, exactly. You
I'm
go
gonna
first.
you go
Yeah.
first. I'm teleponing or whatever the thing is. Okay, right? That's how I'm thinking, even though we're not expressing it. But we're like,
Mhm.
you should know how I'm feeling. We want you to go first. I think that helps.
Exactly, right. Or we say how we feel, expecting reciprocity. Like, I told you how I feel. Now it's your turn to tell me how you feel. And the reason why I told you is to put pressure on you to tell me what I want to hear you say back. That just gets you right back in that old knot again. That knot is getting tighter and tighter. Then they're going to avoid conversations with you, right? It's not productive. So, what is more productive is, and this is counterintuitive,
Okay.
but it's to go first.
Okay.
And it's the reason why it's counterintuitive is it requires a little bit more self-awareness to do it. It requires you to look in the mirror and see, okay, all these limitations I see him, they're valid. But what are my limitations that I justify because I see these limitations in them? It's that, well, I'm not going to, I don't know, fill in the blank. I'm going to make this up. Excuse me if I'm a little sexist in this.
Okay.
I'm not going to wear pretty underwear because he's not taking me out on a date.
Okay.
Let's pretend that's it, right?
Okay.
I would otherwise, but because he's not taking me on a date, I'm not going to
He's not
give him that
initiating. He's
pleasure,
not.
right?
Yep. Okay.
Right. That's what this is what I'm talking about. The knot, like you've just connected behavior A to behavior B. Now you've created this knot, and it might be very true, very very valid. He's not taking you on a date,
Okay.
but you got to check your motives here. Like, I kind of have a little bit of a resentment here. I'm
Okay.
kind of doing this, trying to, if I dress as ugly as possible, maybe he will wake up to the fact of what he's missing out on, and then he'll finally take me on a date. So we try to do these moves. We call these, it's not my term, it's a term that a man named Terry Real came up with. He calls them losing strategies.
Okay.
We all do them. I have my favorite 3 or 4. My wife has her favorite 1 or 2, right?
Yeah.
We have our losing strategy. So the losing strategy in this one is, if I withhold enough, it should change his behavior. That's the losing strategy. We think we do it. So here's how you do it, right? You got to look yourself in the mirror and examine, what are my losing strategies? When I don't get what I want, How do I behave? And is there a better way? What would a more mature person, what would a more solid person, what would
I
a
love that.
10-year ahead of me version who's a little more like solid in themselves, how would they behave when I'm not getting what I want in this instance?
I
And if you can
love
push
that.
yourself on that, get a little more self-awareness, you might
Okay.
have a little more clarity so that next time, that disappointment happens, which inevitably will happen, you're more equipped to know this is the move I keep tending. This is what I feels intuitive for me. But I'm realizing this just keeps us in that knot, that roommate position that I don't
Oh,
like
I
being.
love that. I
It's
love
eliminate her
this.
instead.
Oh, that's so good. I mean, that is so good because if the listeners are in marriages that are starting to be more that roommates, we love each other and we're
Yeah,
busy,
yeah.
we get along
Mhm,
and everything like that, but we're not having intimacy. We're not having sex. We're
mhm.
not connecting.
Uh-huh. Right.
I love that you said one of the things that we need to truly do first is start getting curious of ourselves and see how we're playing a part here.
Yes.
I love that. Are we just withdrawing because we're starting to have some resentment?
Right.
Are we not talking, just waiting for that person? So the clarity is start with yourself first and see how you can initiate something differently to start that. Oh, that's really good, Dan.
Great. Yeah.
I really like that. I think because honestly, that's the only power we have
Mhm. Yeah, I think so too.
with changing things ourselves. Oh my goodness. And Dan, why did the time what happened? Look at the time. Oh my goodness.
Keep
Hold
going. We're on a roll.
on. Okay. Oh my God. Oh, Dan, hold on. Hold on. I think something just came up. Another question. I got to see if this is okay. It says, what's one single daily habit that you've seen completely transform the closeness and the connection in a marriage, something a woman can start doing today that truly makes a difference?
Great question. There's the idea of small daily acts of goodness matter far more than occasional, sporadic, big acts of goodness.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's all in the little things. I think
Mm,
consistency matters far more than grandiosity,
yes, I agree.
right? I mean, it matters more to my wife that I show her affection and genuine concern and love, and that I care for her on a daily, consistent basis than taking her on a cruise once in a while, right? Right? That carries so much more weight. So it's all in the little things, it's all in the little habits. Being consistent about it is helpful. If you want something real specific, you can Google like ideas or like intimacy challenges, or that's what my Intimately Us app that you mentioned at the beginning.
Hey, yes.
It's one of the core premises of the app is these small daily acts. And if you
Okay.
install the app, it'll give you a daily prompt every day. And you can kind of customize it to fit your relationship needs. But something small, it takes 5 minutes or less. Something simple you can do. Some of them are goofy, some are romantic, some of them are spicy. There's a range there.
I love
But
it.
having something prompt you could probably help you develop that habit. It's something small. And
I
it could be
love
something
that.
as small as like when you hug, you're going to hug with a little more intention. You're going to let it linger. When you kiss, you're going to put a little more heart into your kiss. It's not just so perfunctory.
Oh, I love that.
When you see each other, you're going to like hold the eye gaze just a little longer. And that's what Dr. Steven Snyder calls simmering. And I love that term. You're going to
I
simmer
love
in your
that.
relationship.
Simmering.
Simmering. You simmer. It's like a
Okay.
pot on the stove, right? If
Yeah.
it's simmering and you want to go to a boil, it's really fast. It's really
Okay.
easy. Rather than something cold, right? It takes
Yeah.
a lot more time. So simmer, 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 simmer. Simmer your
Simmer.
relationship. Simmer in the morning when you get up. Simmer if you go to bed, wake up together. Simmer as you say goodbye, as you go your separate ways. Simmer as you come back together. Simmer as you lay in bed together before you fall asleep. Always be simmering, and then you'll find a lot easier to get something a little more intimate when you're ready.
Oh, that's so good. Dan, that app then, talk a little bit about that app because, I really love providing tools that people can just immediately start, because I
Yeah.
also do believe wholeheartedly if someone's listening to this episode today and they're like, I got a lot of layers here. I love my man, but there's a lot of layers. I really love that you said that get a third party, get
Yep.
someone that you can work with, get someone that you can trust, and honestly, I'm not just plugging Dan, but I'm plugging Dan.
Yeah.
Like seriously, because
That's what we do.
that's
That's what your marriage on does. Yes.
that's what we do, and we're having these conversations in these shows. So if this is something that's really resonating with you, that you can actually move the needle and get help and get that third person. And I really make sure, our guests are the experts. And I really make sure that I'm bringing people that I am recommending. Okay. I'm actually recommending. So Dan's a recommendation. That's why he's on here today. But for people are not needing, to have a third party, they just need to have deeper discussions and they need a little more tools. Can you talk about that app, Dan, and what that does? And let's just talk about that for a second.
Yeah. So the app is Intimately Us. It's free. It has both iPhone and Android versions.
Okay.
And there's a few sections to the app. The first one's the one I talked to you about with the daily intimacy challenge.
Okay.
I have another section of the app that's like your intimacy calendar. This is where you can track your date nights. It'll even, if you want to, you can put in your menstrual cycle.
Okay.
You can track times you've been sexually intimate. So it's an intimacy calendar for the two of you.
Okay.
There's a section of games, and these are bedroom games. So, for example, one of them is called Battle Strip. It's like Battleship. Like you arrange on your phone items of clothing, they arrange on their phone their items of clothing, and you try to guess where each other's are, and you try to sync their pants or whatever.
Oh, that's so
That's a
fun.
stripping game, right? You got to strip that one.
Oh, it's
But
so
it's goofy.
fun.
It's funny. We have another one called Connect Four Play. It's like the classic Connect Four where you drop the tiles, but if you get four in a row, each tile has a sexual act or a favor on them. If you win, you get to collect those four favors.
Oh, I love
And
this. I
it's-
love that play. We got to play. I love
Yeah.
this play.
There's
Okay.
lots of play. Another game is it starts really mild and then it gets steamier as it progresses. But there's a timer element and there's a prompt and you take turns. So it might start like give her a back massage, and then the timer beeps. 2 minutes later, you switch roles. Now it's like give him a foot massage, and then now it kiss passionately and whatever. There's a lot of variety to what's in there, right? But you get the idea. It gets steamier and steamier. But the timer component, I gotta say, it's such a torturous thing. It's like you're in the throes of it and it's feeling so good. And that timer goes up, that means you gotta stop. Stopping, switching. So
I love it. I love it. I love it.
it's
I
great.
love it.
It's good torture. Then we have another section in the app that helps you discover more sexual intimacy. So
Okay.
very in-depth articles, like some of our favorite ones are that people say are the how-tos. Like it's written very matter-of-factly, always in the context of marriage. And that's what makes our app different from any other one that you'd see. It's not crass, it's not raunchy, but it's not lame.
It's
We're
not
going to tell you how to do it. Yeah. Not pornographic at all.
Sex needs to be fun, Dan, right?
Exactly. But you also need to know, like, for some people, they need to know, like, what to do
Yes.
to make it more fun. So very detailed guides on how to do all sorts of sexual things together. And then there's other places like you can record sexual fantasies that you can share privately with each other and so on. So there's a lot to this app.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. Everyone get that app.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're married and you're like, hey, we need some different conversations and some things to go deeper and play and fun, because that is truly the truth. When it comes to this takes intentionality. This takes connection. This is not like one time you get married and we're done. No, you really, if you want something to build and get better, we got to keep getting curious about one another, keep coming closer. And you guys, again, so if you were in a stage, like that's why, look at Dan's story. See, for real, it was so good, his story, that he's doing this for a living. So, I mean, get into Dan's world because he's the real deal. He's making changes. He truly believes in healthy, loving, passionate, fun intimacy with our spouse. And he truly believes, and he's speaking from his truth, that even if things weren't like that before, they were married for 14 years, you guys. If things weren't like that before, things can actually change. You can change, right, Dan? Can things change?
Oh, absolutely. People
right?
change all the time. Yeah,
Yeah, we're not stuck, right, Dan?
right.
I
I
love
mean,
it.
that's the gospel. We believe in repentance. That means change. Yeah.
Change. Absolutely. That's the best part. You guys,
Mhm.
that is why we have these conversations. No, seriously. Dan, you are amazing. Oh, I just loved having you on the show. Is there anything that, that I didn't ask you that you want to say before we get off of the show?
This has been a wonderful conversation. It's been great. Charlene, your enthusiasm is contagious.
Oh,
I love what you do here. You're a great host. Thank you.
oh, thank you, Dan. Well, you're just an awesome guest. You made it easy for me. Seriously. I love the conversation. And it was so, so helpful. But thank you, Dan. No, seriously, thank you. Thank you
Great.
so much.
Thanks. So, what insights did you gain? Does this change the way you approach sex and intimacy in your marriage? I hope so. What are you going to try new tonight? As I say often on this podcast, action is sexy. Anything you can do to put into action the things you're learning, the faster you're going to accelerate and grow intimacy in your marriage. Now, if you'd like some mentoring, coaching, or marriage counseling that's affordable and effective, check out the Next Level program that I offer. And for a limited time, you can even try it for free. You go to getyourmarriageon.com and click program for those details. Now, my friends, thank you for listening. Please share this episode and the Intimately Us app with all of your married friends. I promise they will thank you for life. Now, it's your turn to go get your marriage on.